Good evening. This is week 5's journal. For this week, we had to do assessment activity 13-3, and here are my results for that. It was basically asking, explain the results of your assessment and identify your risk for diabetes. I have only 4 that gave me the risk for getting diabetes. It's family history, the fact that I do urinate often, number 6 when it says have you suddenly lost weight. Well, I have, but I would say that's only because I've been working out, but I'd still put that down anyway because I haven't worked out that much to lose the amount of weight that I have lost. Number 7, are you overweight? And I am, but I am making an effort in changing that. So I'm in the process of changing my lifestyle so that I don't have to deal with that complication or this disorder. So I'm just gonna wait and see what happens in the next few months or the next year or so. So the second question was examine the relationship between health and wellness by discussing the impact of diabetes mellitus on at least 3 dimensions of wellness. For the first one, I would say physical dimension. Diabetes mellitus brings about all kinds of major chronic complications such as kidney disorders, glaucoma, nerve dysfunction, and amputations, which I have seen for myself. I mean, my great-grandfather, he's passed away now, but before he was not hospitalized, but he was, admitted into a nursing home. He had amputations due to, complications from diabetes and nerve dysfunction. I've seen that with my own mom. My mom, she actually suffers from neuropathy, and that's a major complication of her diabetes. The next would be an emotional dimension. The diabetes brings about a lot of stress on a person. He or she has to just adjust to depending on prescriptions basically for the rest of their lives, along with being physically unwell. I mean, it could be very frustrating having to just keep an eye out for their blood glucose levels all the time. That would really irritate me. I don't know. I mean, I've seen it with my grandma because my grandma, she does have diabetes too. My mom, she's not a pro monitor of her diabetes. I wish she would have been more, but that's pretty much how things went with her. The second dimension is, well, not the second, but the third would be occupational dimension. I say diabetes affects this dimension because now it requires extra support from your personal finances just to, keep up with the treatment for it. And if you're not covered by any type of insurance, then you really got to come out of pocket for treatment for that. Also, it affects a person's work ethic because of the complications, and they can get so severe that a person might just have to quit their job. Like my mom, basically, she's pretty far along in it now, and now it's basically like she's disabled. So she had to end up quitting her job, and she's worked all her entire life. So that's a major complication of her diabetes. Identify 3 lifestyle habits a person can practice to reduce his or her risk of type 2 diabetes. I would just say exercise regularly, maintain a normal body weight, and eat a low-fat, low-carb, high-fiber diet. That's pretty much what I've been doing. I'm just trying to look out for my future and my future health. So I know that I'm at risk for that, and I'm making changes. So while I'm still young, I'm gonna do what I can so I don't have to deal with diabetes mellitus, because even though it's hereditary, it seems in my family, but I've never been diagnosed with it. So and that's all for this week's journal. Bye bye.